For this project, I chose to focus on a student who I am going to call Sophia, so I'm going to discuss a little bit about who Sophia is and how her diagnosis has affected her education. Sophia is a spunky 7-year-old who I had the pleasure of meeting 4 years ago when she was a student in my mom's preschool class. My mom knew I had a passion for working with kids and specifically those with special needs, so she invited me into her classroom on my days off from school to give Sophia some special one-on-one attention. Sophia has a diagnosis of ADHD, and I chose to focus on her for this project because of the uniqueness of her case. Sophia was officially diagnosed with ADHD at the age of 4, which is very young for this type of diagnosis. Sophia scored in the 98th percentile on the Connor scale for ADHD diagnosis and began medication for her condition at the age of 5. This is also a very, very young age to medicate a child for ADHD, but the benefits of this medication were drastic for Sophia's behavior in the classroom. I was able to quickly recognize some of Sophia's wonderful strengths in the classroom. Her personality caught my attention right away. She never had a problem making new friends, and her energy attracted love from her peers and the school staff. Sophia was also incredibly creative. Her art projects were always unique, and she never had trouble thinking of out-of-the-box answers to questions. ADHD also created some challenges for Sophia in the classroom, but she did a great job developing to break down some of these challenges. One of the major challenges, as can be expected with any young child or child with ADHD, was focusing on a task. Sophia benefited from one-on-one attention from an adult who could provide continued redirection back to a task. Even on short projects, it was very difficult for Sophia to stay attentive on the task at hand. Sophia also struggled with body control. It was very difficult for her to sit still at times when that was expected, especially when she was expected to sit still on the carpet. One accommodation that really helped Sophia was being allowed to sit in a chair instead of sitting directly on the carpet. If you've ever worked with 3-year-olds, you know that they are very talented at finding tiny treasures to play with on the carpet, and Sophia would become fixated on finding such treasures, so being physically away from the carpet was very helpful for her. The chair also got her closer to eye level with any book or manipulative that the teacher was showing the class. Universal Design for Learning is a framework for planning instruction which focuses on providing multiple forms of engagement, multiple forms of representation, and multiple forms of expression for students. UDL could really benefit Sophia. Because she has trouble focusing, the engagement portion of UDL is crucial for her. Sophia has trouble sitting during instruction, so incorporating movement into the instruction could be helpful. For example, teaching through song and dance or adding body motions that correspond to a topic would likely help her to learn and retain the content. Additionally, bringing her outside to learn where she's free to move could help Sophia stay engaged. This is something that Armstrong refers to in our text as a green environment, and this type of environment has been shown to ease symptoms of ADHD. It would also be really important to relate tasks back to Sophia's interests wherever possible to keep her engaged. She could also benefit from different forms of expressing what she knows. Because Sophia has trouble focusing, a long paper-pencil exam would not make sense for her. Sophia has really great verbal skills, so a one-on-one interview-style assessment would be a lot better choice. That way, a teacher could discern whether Sophia doesn't know the information or if she's just getting distracted. This would also allow the teacher to redirect Sophia towards showing her knowledge by asking probing questions throughout the exam. Technology could also help Sophia to show her knowledge. Long worksheets with a lot of words and pictures could be distracting and overwhelming to Sophia. A teacher could use a program on an iPad such as Google Forms or Google Slides to accommodate Sophia by breaking tasks down where there's only one question or picture on the screen at a time. An iPad could also help Sophia once again to verbally respond to prompts, which is easier for her to focus on than writing. As I'm sure you could discern from this profile, Sophia is a great kid with a bright future ahead of her. If teachers are able to take the extra time to accommodate their instruction to better meet the needs of all students, including students like Sophia, they will find that they have a happier classroom and more successful students.